My name is Efim. I do ask questions to entrepreneurs. Whoa! What do you do for a living?
I invest in real estate.
Love it. Do you have advice for the young entrepreneurs?
Find someone who achieved what you want to achieve, drive as much value to them as possible, and let them elevate you to that level.
Respect. Where do you work?
I work at Brait Capital.
Could you show me around?
It's right here. Let me show you.
Yeah, thank you for your time and your generosity.
Yeah, anytime. Turned out to be a beautiful day.
It is. Better than 2 months ago.
Yeah. Welcome to Brait Capital.
Thank you. We're in heart of Edina, very fancy, rich neighborhood, and that's what we got.
But yeah, these are our guys.
Hey guys.
And they're hanging out. This is some of our properties we've done. We got some accounting and management offices. And we have some offices on the other side too. Let's go.
So it looks like a Facebook when it started, in a way.
I mean, I don't know about Facebook, but it's always exciting to start businesses.
That's exciting, I love it. This episode of Chestnut Conversation was brought to you by our sponsor, Drutex Windows and Doors, a premier producer of windows, and you could look full selection at chestnutwindows.com. Welcome to Chestnut Conversation. I'm Efim Shukalovich, co-founder of Chestnut Windows and Doors and owner of Alliance Builders. I've been building homes, I've been starting businesses, and I learned what it takes to turn ideas into reality. And this podcast is about connecting with trailblazers who inspire us and share insight that could help you in your own journey. And today we have an incredible guest, Rafik Moore. Rafik Moore is a visionary entrepreneur. He's the driving force behind Brait Capital, who is changing a commercial real estate landscape and leaving positive feedback on the community. So Rafik gonna tell us about his story, and he's gonna uncover principles that stay behind his success. Rafik, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here, and
Let's start from the very beginning. When you had an idea to go into commercial real estate, or even say not commercial, real estate in general, how did it start?
I immigrated to the United States at the age of 20. Went through the whole process of immigrant journey. After graduating with a degree in finance in 2001, I found myself jobless because 9/11 killed all the jobs for finance. So December 2001, I graduate, and the only job I can get is $12 an hour, an internship at this local mortgage company. And like everybody else, I wanted to achieve American dream. I was living in a studio. I didn't have a lot of means. We grew up not very wealthy, right?
So you didn't have an uncle with
millions of dollars, yeah. I read Robert Kiyosaki's book, watched Carlton Sheets programs for investments, and I was really excited about real estate at that high. If I can invest in some real estate, for me it was duplexes, fourplexes, multifamily, because that's what everybody does. I thought I can build myself a positive cash flow and sort of retire. Back then, for some reason, maybe we were young, everybody's like, oh, I want to work until 40 and retire and travel the world. I don't know. I'm 47 now. I don't think I'll ever retire. But anyhow, so I read the book. I worked at a mortgage company, and my first house was 2003, and I lost money on the first house.
How much you lost on your first deal?
So I got stuck with it.
You got stuck with it?
I had to move into it, and then I sort of sold it to my friend at a basically cost basis, or maybe I must have lost maybe $10,000 to $12,000 on it. So, but I lived there for a couple of years.
Okay, you lost $10,000, and you said, you know what? I love it. Let's do it again. That's what happened.
Well, because you see, I made a huge mistake. I graduated from college, and I had this perception that I know everything because I graduated. I got a degree, so I must know something about finance.
Probably qualified, right?
But now I realize that if I had a mentor who can walk me through the process and not, guard me from making mistakes, I would not have made mistakes. So second house, again, we bought it, and I had to move in there because contractors screwed up, and it was over budget. It was just a mess. So I was like, forget it. I'll move into it again.
So you lost
the house,
or you made money on the second one?
On the second house, I did not make any money. I moved in there. I must have lost money on it because after remodel, we moved in there. 3 years later, I sold it at basically a loss.
Okay.
So 2 houses, I lost money. And on the third one, I bought a house on 1359 Suburban Avenue for $110,000. And we spent $30,000 to fix it. And I remember selling it for $200 or $210,000. So that was $30,000. I couldn't believe $30,000 was like a lot of money.
3 years later, you made $30,000. You're like, yep, now it's getting better.
So this is our conference center. I sometimes educate people on how to underwrite deals, how to find properties, and we have our own management company. And look at these pods.
Is it a pod or is it a timeout room?
But these pods it's for calls. You lock the door and you sit there in a jail cell. Yeah.
Help!
Let me show you the front of the space. We often throw parties here. It's a really good place to
I've been to a few and I love them.
Yeah.
Especially I love you like New Year party.
Yeah. One thing that is very important when you become an entrepreneur is never to give up. Learn from your mistakes and keep going, because failure is a stepping stone for the next level of your evolution. And the only way you can avoid failing is by learning from other people's mistakes and listening and being humble. Only in 2012 did I take my first course with Robin Thompson. Until 2012, I bought tons of houses. I lost so much money.
But you also made money, right?
No, I made a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but I made a lot of mistakes. There's every single mistake in the book. When I came to the class, 2012, she's like, don't buy 9 types of houses. Don't buy houses without garages in cold winter. So I have one. Don't buy houses with small lots. I have one. Don't buy houses with small bedrooms. So yeah, that was pretty interesting.
And how did you come up with an idea to get a mentor or get to the class? Did anybody tell you, or like, you know what, I think I need somebody who could guide me?
The idea of paying for education was so foreign to me. I thought it's a scam. What? I pay $3,000 for like 3 days of boot camp? Forget it. It's a scam. I know everything. I can read it in the book for free. And this particular lady, Robin Thompson, when she came on stage, I really liked her personality. I was like, you know what? That's okay. $3,000 is not a lot of money. I'll do this. And it was in Florida.
It was a gamble for you.
And I felt really bad parting with the money. I'm like, I don't know about this. I go, and in that 2-day class, she went through all of the like what's not to do and her stories. And I hit myself like, dude, if I had her 10 years ago, I would have been so much more successful and wealthy. And that was a big epiphany. It's just, I feel like I'm 10 years too late into the industry because I didn't have anybody guiding me. And I made every single mistake, hiring a wrong contractor, buying the property on a busy road, buying properties in bad areas. I realized that had I taken that class, I would have been so much more successful. So
the best time to get a mentor is 10 years ago.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Second best time is today, right?
Yeah, and there's different things you can do. You can get a mentor. It's somebody in your ecosystem that will basically work with you and help you from the bottom of their heart for free. You can hire a coach, somebody who actually charges money for it, and they'll keep you accountable. They'll give you some material, and you go through courses. I coach with Dan Martell. I'm in multiple masterminds. The other thing I would recommend is to join a RIA, Real Estate Investors Association, and/or a mastermind, because you want to be around like-minded people who will support you on your journey. So those 3 things are a must for anyone who is trying to achieve success in real estate or anywhere else for that matter.
So when you moved here from Uzbekistan, did you ever envision something like that?
Honestly, no. When I came here, I worked as janitor. I used to come to places like this and dream of the opportunity to work here, let alone own a place like this.
So like first few years, I know you moved to a different country and you get a job as a janitor like you. Did you ever get homesick and like, yeah, maybe I should go back or stuff like that? Did it ever cross your mind, or you always?
Well, see, one thing that America is a land of opportunity. I miss my family. I miss my relatives and my home, my friends. But I was super excited to be here. I think for anyone who wants to achieve success, financial freedom, America is still the best place to accomplish it. And for anyone who is dreaming about achieving success, there is a lot of resources for you to achieve that. It's harder in other countries, in my humble opinion.
You see a lot of people go into real estate business, commercial real estate, and some people successful, some of them are not. And what mistakes people are making besides getting a mentor in commercial real estate that's stopping them from success? Like young people coming into commercial real estate, like, hey, I know everything. I'm going to get it done. And what mistakes are they making?
There's a whole list of things.
Like 5. Top 5.
I think the biggest problem that we all have is getting into something new is fear of the unknown. Like I deal with it right now with some large assets I'm trying to go after. The fear of the unknown and the fear of making a mistake. But if I have a mentor who's done it multiple times and he guides you through it, it makes it so much easier. So fear of the unknown is the one thing. And so understanding the subject matter, learning how to do it from those who have done it already, and having them sort of watch over your shoulder is super important. Number two, action. A lot of people don't recognize the amount of action you have to do to achieve a certain result. And so people have this, millionaire dreams, but
action doesn't align with the
but
dreams.
like a minimal wage, like a four hour work week methodology, and it just doesn't work.
Yep.
In order for you to achieve any kind of success, you need to do massive action. Grant Cardone's book 10X method, or I forget the name. 10X.
I remember you recommended that book to me.
So when you read that book, he's like, dude, whatever you do, you apply yourself 10X, and then you'll achieve that ridiculous, like a really, really high level of success. And so the other thing that's extremely important is controlling the animal within. All of us have an animal inside us that vibrates at lower frequencies. Animal wants two things. It wants to survive and procreate. That's it. And then also we also have a spiritual being inside us, and spiritual being vibrates at a higher levels. And so one thing that I've discovered by reading multiple books on the subject matter was really, if you appeal to a spiritual side of your thing, and you will not be scared, and you're not going to be too ambitious and greedy, you will attract a lot of people in your life. You'll be net positive on the energy versus energy negative. And so I really, like at this time in my life, I'm very in tune with energy of people. And so here's what happens. Your character is a byproduct of your actions. And your character gets built like a brand over time. And so making sure that impact you have on people is positive on a daily basis will basically come back to you in many, many opportunities. Because everybody has an opportunity in their back pocket.
Right.
They have deals, they have capital, they have relationships. Will they share it with you? And the answer is only they'll share it with you if they feel good about you. And so this is what, to me, this is like in my 40s I've uncovered. I'm like, oh, that's how it works. It's not about me. It's not about just my desire and me making millions of dollars. It's about how can I help Efim? How can I make a deal work so that Efim wins? And then if Efim will reciprocate, I'll make a lot of money. So the whole concept of always adding value came out of that. It's about being selflessly, altruistically, looking at other people and helping them to achieve their success or make money or whatever.
That makes a lot of sense.
Let's go and sit down in my office.
Yeah, let's do it. Where all the magic happens. Did you have a mastermind group here today? Right here?
Yes. We had a mastermind get together.
Wow, you got all the equipment. So you own a production company. You told me you have a commercial real estate company, but this looks like a production company, man.
I started doing a little bit of social media. Honestly, at my age, after being in business for so long, starting out in social media is so difficult. Because I got to change my ways. I'm so naturally going and doing things, but I know I got to stop, wait for the camera, smile, dress nicely. So
but you have a great team. You have a cool band who's doing such a good job. And I see your content online, and there is so much noise, so much garbage on the internet, and sometimes it's hard to narrow it down to the good content. And I think your content is awesome.
Oh, thank you.
I think anybody who wants to do commercial real estate, there is so much wisdom that you could get out of.
I just want to make sure that whatever we do is authentic from the heart, and I want to impact, influence, and inspire people to achieve their highest potential. My ethos in this stage of my life, where I've been climbing a mountain forever. My mountain was a $100 million portfolio in assets under management. That's basically financial freedom in today's day and age. And after that, I've obviously continued, and I realized something. It's the same thing, a different day. Everything after you satisfy all your financial means is just ego-driven. So what do? You hang it, you go on a beach, lay around. And so I've dedicated myself to helping people, helping my students, my employees, my managing partners to do the same thing. And now we do these deals across the country. We do stuff in Michigan and Florida, in Ohio and Chicago, and I'm very blessed. Obviously, we're making money stabilizing deals, but mainly we improve properties. We improve the world by making every property we touch better.
When I talk to other people and your name comes up, what I hear a lot, oh, Rafik, he helps so many people.
Yes.
And he's so generous. And you know what I mean? And there's a reason for that.
That's a brand I build deliberately. And so here's what happens, right? Every single day I have wins. I have sort of wins that I have to do. One of the wins for me is adding value to somebody. I look for opportunity to help somebody. I look for opportunity to improve somebody's life, even if it's a small thing. You know why? Well, first of all, I enjoy the process, but also selfishly, when you help others achieve their highest potential, what you want for others comes back to you, sometimes 10 times.
You get better, I get better.
Everybody gets better. And then the other thing is, you have to be very careful because many people will take advantage of your kindness, generosity. And if you go and somebody is a leech, they take your energy, they take your resources, they take your capital, and then they don't pay you back, slowly move on. I don't like drama. I don't like lawsuits. I will move on gently, and then I'll only be surrounded by amazing people.
So you want to have people
that's my secret.
Energy fountains, not energy drains.
That's right.
I love how you elevate the people around you.
Yeah.
That's so cool to see.
Thank you. Well, I actually started a foundation called Elevate.
Okay.
And so one of the things, I really want to tie my performance, my business drive into a purpose, and not to be conflated with desire. Like everybody has a desire. You know, you want to have a car, you want a nice house, whatever. But and desire makes you weaker. Desire over time is very singular and narrow. Like you want a car, you want a house, whatever. But purpose is so wide. And the more you lean into purpose, the more powerful it gets. And more than that, if you share the purpose with others and they subscribe to it, then they follow you and you can build amazing enterprise. So I'm in the process of redefining my purpose, and Elevate Foundation is that. I want to empower, elevate, and help others achieve their highest potential through the whole Brait philosophy, which Brait means a diamond in the rough.
So you go to Ohio, you go to Wisconsin.
I go to Wisconsin.
What is your favorite state you did go or wanted to go? Is that Hawaii? Is that Florida?
Well, there's traveling, obviously. I like to go to warmer states in the winter. Minnesota is cold. But I love to do some deals in Texas. Love to do some deals in Arizona, Nevada, Florida. Why? Because politics are better. The tax incentives are better. And unfortunately, with our Minnesota high taxes, a lot of very, very successful people move out because the taxes are pretty high.
Oh, yeah, you have to consider all of it.
Yeah, there's other considerations, obviously. It's not a lot of money.
Not just the weather, but there is
money. Weather is one thing. Yep. It's brutally cold, but then you got the taxes on top of it. But you know what's good about Minnesota?
Yeah?
Minnesota, nice. There's still a lot of good people. I think from a standpoint of morality and integrity, we have a higher standard as opposed to these southern states. In my humble opinion, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, on my podcast, I always ask people like, what is your favorite state? Where do you want to live? You know, I come to the conclusion for myself, there is no better state than Minnesota. Yeah. And I have my reasons, like there's taxes, right? But there is schools, there's medicine, there's opportunities, cool people. But what do you think for you? Like what's the top three?
I'll tell you something. In my opinion, reality is not objective, it's subjective. You can live anywhere as long as people you love are with you and good health. And so I was thinking, could I live in Florida? Could I live in Texas? Could I live in Russia? Could I live anywhere? I've been really philosophical about it. I could live anywhere. At this point in my life with the financial freedom that I have, I could live anywhere. I just want to be close to my kids. And unfortunately, I'm divorced. So I have kids from another marriage. I can't leave because they're here. And so I'm stuck here. Not a negative way, but yeah, that's what it's. So I love Minnesota because my son Alan is here and my daughter Julie. And
so you've done a lot of real estate projects, right? And you probably don't remember all of them. But there gotta be one that is your favorite.
Yeah?
Which one it is?
Well, let me tell you this. I want to teach people how to buy as much real estate as they can without have their own capital. When I started, I didn't have any capital. So my best deal was my first deal.
Okay.
When I made $1 million.
You just made $1 million even?
I made $1 million, about $1,200,000 or $1,020,000. No, $1,020,000. It was.
Did you get a check or it was a wire? That's
it was a 1031 exchange. So I had the settlement statement, and I bought 2 buildings from that. So I never actually saw the money, but I felt good, validated with it. So, and I bought that property with no money out of pocket.
Okay. Did you do it on your own or you had a mentor? That's the question.
So that's where the whole my life has changed dramatically when I met Alex Ugaretz, my mentor.
Okay. Family is important, and you're a family man. Your brother Rustam is working with you. Yeah. So tell me a little, how is it working with your brother? Like,
I love working with my brother, but I have everybody who I work with is my brother. and from another mother.
Right.
So brother relations are important, but I don't delineate. I'm a relationship connoisseur. I'm all about long-term, meaningful relationships with people of value, and ultimately, that's my secret of success. Because when you get people to collaborate with you in a meaningful way and you are rooting to win, you got people all across the nation doing deals for your benefit. And of course, you work with them too. You coach them, you get debt for them, you put capital to work. But relationship is the number one factor, and then deals are secondary. Of course, there's three things I really value, and that is health, wealth, and relationships. I would say that health is probably most important because it doesn't matter how much money you have if you're sick. It's not good.
Doesn't matter.
But relationship is in the second position. So I'll always preserve a relationship and pay money to make sure it's good, as opposed to the other way around. And I think that's where people make a mistake, is they treat money most importantly, and they then destroy their health and destroy their relationships. I run into him at a Bridgewater party.
Okay. I've been to one like a couple months ago.
So we talk. I ran into him. He speaks Russian. I speak Russian, and he's got a very short-witted demeanor to himself. And he's like, "What do you do?" I said, I do houses. I buy houses. I fix them. I was so proud. I was doing maybe 30 to 40 houses a year, fixing, flipping, and I would make good money. I thought for an immigrant, I was making $500,000 a year.
That's a lot of money.
And he's like, "Such a bad business you're in." I'm like, "What are you talking about? No, I didn't do one house. I have a whole production. I got."
And you're doing great. And you're happy. You feel good about yourself.
So he's like, no. It's a bad business to be in. I'm like, why? Because you're chasing a whole bunch of people. I had a lot of rentals too. Chasing a bunch of people who are stuck in the second gear of your life for rent. You're probably in and out of court all the time. I'm like, well, yeah, but...
That's kind of true, yeah?
Yeah. And so I'm like, no, but it's a good business. I make a lot of money. He's like, stop. He stopped me. Have you ever made $1 million on a deal? I was like, no, but I can make $1 million by flipping 20 houses or 30 houses. He's like, nah, I don't ever touch anything unless I make $1 million. And then of course, that's when he got my attention. I was like, all right, well, tell me more. How does it happen, right? I knew a little bit about him. I knew he was a very successful guy, but he didn't do houses. He worked on industrial real estate. This is 2012, 2013, 2012 probably, most likely.
That's the time when we met, actually.
Yeah. It was my first. So I sold you a house, and I said, well, how can I find these types of deals? He said, well, there's a building on 6009 Wayzata Boulevard, and it's a 30,000 square warehouse building. Seller cannot get rid of it for $2 million, but I know if you buy it for $2 million, you can sell it for $3 million. Made no sense to me. How is it that I buy it for $2 million? Why can't he sell it for $3 million? What's going on here?
What's happening?
He's like, well, what's going on is there's some issues. Seller is very difficult, and all the buyers they want to demolish it. But the seller has tenants, and he doesn't want to vacate. He wants as is deal. So if you buy it, fix it up, down the road you can sell it. But it's a $3 million parcel. Land is worth more. But you're getting the building for free. It's a covered land play. I was like, that's what it is. Like apartment building or hotel can be built on there, which now it's a medical office building on that facility, on that lot.
You always at the gym, you lift, you do sauna, you do cold plunge, you work out. When do you find time to do that? Because you're a busy guy.
It's been harder, but here's what I'm super excited. Today, we looked at a building right here in Edina, a 6-story building. We're going to buy it, hopefully. And I want to build an ecosystem where not only me, but everybody else can enjoy it. I want to put a sauna, a healthy food restaurant, a cold plunge, a gym, maybe a daycare for our ladies who have kids to drop off and stuff. My wife has a longevity clinic. We're going to put our clinic in there, and we're going to dial in a 120,000 square foot building with everything that we need for happiness. And then on one floor plate, I'm going to open a co-working space for real estate investors. And I think that's where the magic is going to be, happening, because we'll have wholesalers, hard money lenders, private investors, everybody come and collaborate, and it's going to be the biggest and the best place to do real estate in Minneapolis.
So did you have $2 million to buy it at the time?
So no, actually, this is interesting. My credit was destroyed in 2012 because I was coming out of a recession. I knew I could not use credit. So I was like, Alex, and I have a real estate license. So like, Alex, how about I go and chase that deal for you? We could do it together, 50-50. And I'm doing a lot of houses, so I know how to negotiate, whatever. And he's like, yeah, if you get it, we'll work together. I'm like, all right, we'll do it. And so in my head, I was like, all right, we're going to go to the bank. I'm embarrassed to say I have bad credit. Well, he'll finance this. He'll sign on debt. I won't sign on debt. But then at the same time, knowing that it's embarrassing for me to go to bank, and I was negotiating a lot of seller finance deals. That's one of the things I do all the time. I was like, I'll try to seller to finance this for us. I talked to the seller and met with them. And I said, look, would you consider seller financing on this deal? And the seller is a matter of fact guy he moved to Miami. Great guy. He's my mentor and friend investor now. He sold me other buildings afterwards.
Okay.
He's like, if you put 20% down, I'll sell it to you. And I want like 6% interest rate. I was like, all right, great. I'll submit an offer with seller financed deal, $2 million, $400,000 down, and $1.6 million on a contract for deed, which is seller financing.
And you had $400,000, right?
I did not have $400,000.
Okay, you didn't have it.
So now I am flipping houses, I make 30, I have 30 to 50 grand, but I'm buying houses constantly. To collect $400,000 and sit on it, it takes a lot of discipline.
It's unheard of.
Well, it's her. I mean, now I can do it now.
For house flipper.
Exactly. So I was like, well, Alex will put up 200,000 and in the next 30 days or 60 days, I'll list a whole bunch of houses and I'll try to put together 200,000, which would have been 4 or 5 houses. So it's a full production to get that money. One of the things I do, I always meet the sellers face to face. So I call the seller. I'm like, I like the deal. I want to buy it, but I want to present you with the offer. I sent him an offer. He signed it. I said, I want to present you with the findings of my inspection. Think I'll get a $300,000 discount.
Okay.
He told me multiple times, Rafik, if you want to buy it, I'm not going to give you a penny less than 2 million. Don't ask for a discount. And I was like, no, it's okay. But I thought if I give him face to face,
maybe
you might consider it. So I'm like, I want to meet with you. I don't do business like this. I want to handshake. I want to look you in the eyes. And obviously you're going to give me 1.6 million. Don't you want to see who we're dealing with? He's like, all right, come. I fly in. I come to his penthouse in Miami Beach.
So you're not moving out of Minnesota anytime soon with a project like that?
I mean, it's going to take me 3 to 5 years to get it done. I'm still waiting for my son to graduate from high school.
Yeah.
But I think I'll have a secondary residence in Florida or
in Florida
Vegas,
at some point?
something like that, yeah. I used to have a house in Naples. I think I'm going to end up buying a house in Orlando, or I want to stay away from the hurricanes, but maybe Tampa, we'll see. This guy's got a 60-foot yacht. He's just a very wealthy guy, and I'm excited to be there.
And you're flipping houses in Minneapolis.
And I'm flipping houses, yeah. So, and we sat down, and we go to his office in his condo. I whip out my inspection. I'm like, all right, well, listen, your HVAC is dead, your roof is dead. The only way I can buy this property is if you give me $300,000 discount. See, he almost jumped out of his chair, screaming at me, what the hell is wrong with you?
He didn't kick you out, no?
He's like, why are you wasting my time? Why did you come all the way here? I told you I'm not going to give you $1 off. And I'm sitting there quietly laughing inside because I know it's basically it's a negotiation, right? It's win-win. I said, all right, here's the thing though. You know these things are compromised, right? Yes, they are. Well, number one, if I buy the property tomorrow and my HVAC goes out and my roof goes out, what's going to happen? I'll fail. You have to deal with it. You got a problem. Plus, you'll take my $400,000. So can you help me somehow? According to my contract, I got to pay you $10,000 a month. I don't want to pay $10,000 a month. Can I pay you $7,000 a month? I'll still give you $2 million, but I only want to do 7 because $3,000 that I will save over the course of a year, I want to use towards maintenance items. And it's like, all right, well, as long as I get $2 million, I don't care about $7,000 a month.
Okay.
I was like, all right, good, done, let's do it. $180,000 discount. And he's like, well, wait a minute, what is the interest rate? I said, who cares about interest rate?
It's $7,000.
It's $7,000 a month. It's not going to take interest rate to a grocery store. You take $7,000. But to me, you're helping me to deal with your problem. It's like, fuck it, let's do it. 2.5% for 20 years. 2.5%.
What's the prime rate was at the time?
7 or
7, and it got 2.5.
7, yeah. So the rates were like a 6%. But to me, if I were to go to the bank, I would have paid like 10, 11,000 on it. So for me, that was a savings. And so we talked and we became really good friends after that.
So it's not just a transaction, it's also a relationship.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You're not
he
only
sold
about
me
the building.
Other building, he actually begged me to buy the second building. I was like, I don't want it. And I bought it and I still made another like 300 grand on that other building, office building he sold me. Alex, 2 weeks prior. And I put the earnest money, I got the contract in my name, I was going to sign it to Alex, but it's my earnest money, 25,000. I'm dealing with the whole thing. I'm like, Alex, I got the financing. Don't worry about the financing. Let's just put 200 grand. And I'm thinking, why am I going to find 200 grand? So I'm talking to a lot of friends. I borrowed 100,000 from a friend at like 20% interest only. I'm like, let me sell some houses. I'll pay you back. Okay, so this is the code of ethics that I like to have. This is for Caspian, which is our management company. Brait is what we offer. But be a person of value. Focus on providing value instead of compensation. Be honest. Maintain highest level of integrity. Be loyal. Loyalty is very important. Be humble. I think the biggest thing that we deal with is humility. People make a lot of money, they lose themselves, and it's no good. Be positive, be authentic, stay focused, always keep improving. One of the things I believe in, and I want everybody to do, the people who work for me, is continuously read, go to conferences, attend masterminds, and listen to podcasts, and continuously improve yourself, and be disciplined. I think discipline is very important. And then finally, but most importantly, be generous. Don't be selfish. Be kind, be generous, because what happens is people react to that energy. People will forget what you said. People forget what happened, but they will always remember how you made them feel. And if you're kind and generous and they feel that energy from you, they'll come back over and over and over again. Another lady who was like just divorced and she was trying to invest, she gave me another $100,000, also at 15%. So I got 200 grand borrowed from two people. Alex is 200,000. He's like, I talked to my wife, I don't want to do the deal. You do it yourself. Really? I was like, what? Dude, I got earnest money. I got purchase scheme. How is it? I'm stressing out. He says, don't worry about it. You will thank me later. You'll make $1 million. Everything will be great. So for the next 2 weeks, I brought so many people to the building raising. I had to learn capital raising very quickly because I was going to lose $25,000. So I guess in retrospect, I was very lucky because Alex taught me, it made me believe in the capability of buying that building, because had I known I don't have 400,000, I would never made an offer. I have to be crazy.
Right.
Long story short, found 200,000, gave 10% to one each of my investors, and I retained 80% of the ownership, and they gave me 100 grand each. And then we remodeled the building, and the building made $7,000, $8,000 a month cash flow for a year and a half. And just like you said, I sold it for $3.2 million, and we made about, after commissions, 100 grand commission, we made about $1 million profit on that deal.
Every single point you mentioned, I could read it and I would think about you. Are you a person of value? Yeah, you have a group. Be honest, be loyal, be humble. So all these words, it's a pretty words, but that would mean nothing if you don't do them yourself. But you live them, and it's cool to see that energy is contagious.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. And I know you share all those values too. That's what we work together.
So we got
these offices right here. It's a Friday too, so most people are checked out.
So you're already doing that 4 days.
This is a Drew. He's a rock star.
Hey, Drew. Okay, he just signed $2 million deal.
Yeah.
Yep. 2 million.
Yeah. So I got one of our guys became an overnight sensation in social media. Yeah. This is our beautiful Tammy.
Hi Tammy, how are you?
She's my partner, and she runs management for us.
Tammy is a rock star.
Yeah.
So on the first residential deal, you lost money, and on the first commercial, you made money. You made $1 million. It's a lot of money. So
my mentor was watching over my shoulders every step of the way,
and she showed you the deal, right?
He found the deal, and he walked me through the whole thing. And I had so many questions. I called him at 10 o'clock. How do I deal with this thing? How do I deal with the lease? How can I get these people out? Whatever. How do I fix the roof? Every single answer. So I got very lucky with my mentor.
That's beautiful. So mentorship is important.
We're going to make $10 million on one deal. We have we have 4 million square feet of real estate. We're going to make a lot of money. But that deal was the best deal because it was first deal for me. Yeah, first big deal. First successful deal. Yeah. Commercial deal. Yeah.
If you fail on a first commercial deal, you could go bankrupt.
It's hard to come back. Yeah. I would not recommend for anyone to do it unless they have deep pockets.
Because you cannot move into it, right?
Yeah, you can. Like
you did with the duplex. You moved in and it's fine, but commercial real estate, it's a lot of money.
In real estate, the way we do business, value add real estate, you make the money on the buy. As long as you buy it right, everything else is just figuring out the things. If you buy it wrong, no matter what you do, you're going to lose money. So it's very important for you to understand what you're doing, what the value is, what the stabilized value is. We have a...
Economics for strategy. Okay. Good to great.
We have a wall. We have a library here. And
did you buy all these books?
No, I told everybody to bring some books so we can share. It's basically a book sharing. We even have a Bible and Quran and Torah here.
No, I love it. I mean, all the recommendations you put out there, I always follow the books.
Brandon and Rustam, right?
Hey guys, how are you doing?
So this is our kitchenette.
So at Brait Capital, you find those value-add deals. And you do due diligence, and if people want to invest with you, how do they do that?
So we are an investment company. I raise capital on a regular basis. The formula that I used with Alex, I rinsed and repeated for the past 12 years, over and over and over. I find a deal, I find investors.
How many investors you had?
Well, in the beginning, I had like 3 or 5 people funding my hard money lenders or funding my residential deals. So I came into the industry already with experience in construction and market management, etc. Now we have maybe 50 to 20 investors. However, we have a lot going on now. And some of my investors call me, I would like to put 250 grand with you. I would like to put $500,000 with you. And I say, I'll call you back. And I never call them back because when I find the deal, I just find somewhere else. And some people called me later, say, oh, my money is not green enough. You're too big now. You're too rich for me. What's going with you? I thought we had a good relationship. I feel so bad. I was like, all right, I need to figure this out. Because the other thing is concentrating all that capital is power. And then I can execute on larger scale. So I started a fund. I started a Brait secured fixed income fund. And this fund we're going to raise 100 million. And we are going to basically be able to take as little as 25,000.
25,000.
And as much as 5 million. We are going to, it's a 506c offering that's going to be filed with SEC. And we are going to pay people fixed predetermined income. It will be anywhere from 6% under 250,000 because I don't want to take a lot of small checks, but I'll do that for people who want to, who don't want to put money into a CD. This is like a better CD. Certificate of deposit. Mm-hmm. And the good thing about this program, you can take your money back anywhere from 6 to 12 months. Like if you give you the money and we work in it and you get interest, you want the money, you got to ask for it. Depending on the cycle of the deal, we can pay you back your capital and then you've gotten interest. What it does for us, it gives us the opportunity to concentrate capital and be able to do larger deals. And so I'm very excited about that. But if people want to invest with us, Brait secured fixed income fund will offer security, it offers flexibility, it will offer freedom and cash flow. So this was an office, 8-foot ceilings. It was really depressing.
So you
opened it up and put in a skylight. Pretty awesome. Of course, we put a mural of New York skyline to make it more, urban.
Yep. No, I love the flooring. No, it's pretty cool space. So how many people work here?
In total, we have about over 50 people between management, the leasing, capital group.
You started as a mortgage underwriter for $12 an hour, and now you're taking checks for $1 million to invest in a fund. That's so cool.
Yeah. Very blessed. I mean, I tell you, it's all about who you meet in life, and the collective contribution of every single person you meet can get you to a level. I mean, when I came to this country, I didn't believe that I could be doing this. I mean, this is, it's hard to believe. I mean, I fly planes, go to 8 states, we have properties everywhere. But I'm very humbled, I'm very blessed, and I want to commit the rest of my life to helping others to go through that same hero journey. So I'm starting a coaching business.
Okay.
We're going to help people to
What's the name?
Learn coaching business.
Rafik
always
Moore?
adding value. We always want to add value. And I want to teach people to always focus on adding value to their investors, to their communities, to the buildings. And that's how I think we can improve this world.
It's hard to work when you have couches like this.
Oh, yeah. We used to have a TV right there. This would be a nice little place to lounge.
Do you watch a lot of TV?
I watch biographies of prominent people.
Which one is your favorite?
I love the story of Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie. I've watched a show about Ford. I also like to listen to and read about Stoic philosophy. But as far as the TV is concerned, on the weekends, I sometimes do watch TV with kids.
So you're
that
like Bluey,
entertaining them, yeah.
Harry Potter, stuff like that?
Yeah, Harry Potter or Avengers or whatever.
Yeah. So I watched Harry Potter the other day, and you know what? I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Not because of the movie. It's a great movie. It has a good plot, but being with the family and kind of sharing that, experience together.
Having some popcorn and whatever, yeah.
That's huge because it's memories.
Outside of the business, there's a human element to everyone who does business, and watching TV and going to gym is just part of a routine.
So what are your recommendations to the young guys who starting, they want to do the business, and let's say they want to do commercial real estate, but they have no money, they have no experience. What's the path to the commercial real estate? Where do you start?
Well, I've actually, in my whole program, if you don't have any money, if you're brand new, you got to get the experience. But it's hard to get the experience because you got to pay the bills. There's 4 paths to get into commercial real estate investing. Okay. Oh, let's not say commercial, it's real estate investing. There's houses, whatever, you can do duplexes, multifamily, whatever. 4 paths. Path number 1, the path that I came into it was finance. Finance is a big part of real estate investing. You need to understand deals, you need to understand cash flow, you need to understand formulas, IRR, you need to understand how to get money, how to raise capital. If you can get a job in a finance industry, like a mortgage industry or credit analyst for a lender or real estate, that's how I started. I got into underwriting. I was a credit analyst. So for the first 2 years, I would review people's credit and approve or deny their loans. That's a huge experience for what you do, because then you know exactly what the banks are looking for to give you money. So finance is a path that's really, really good. And you can get paid right now as a finance analyst anywhere from $60,000 to maybe $120,000 a year while you learn to get there.
Okay.
Number two for me, because is real estate, getting a real estate license. For some people, it's number one. If you're a hustler, if you have a very good charismatic personality, you can become a really, really good real estate agent and focus on investments. There's obviously different kinds of real estate. You can drive around with mamas and show houses. But if you were in investment real estate, you're always looking and underwriting, figuring out cash flow and return on investment or whatever. And eventually you can hook yourself to one of the investors, which we do with many of our brokers, many of our realtors become our partners. And then they learn.
They bring it to you?
They find a deal and I'm like, hey, you can put your commission in the deal. You'll be a limited partner, but you'll see everything behind the curtain of our business and learn while we do this. And it works really well. As a matter of fact, that's one of our secrets in buying assets in all over the country. I roll into a town, go into a broker house, do a presentation, boom. We only do value add deals. We don't buy stabilized properties. That's real estate is the second path to get into investing. Third path is management company. Get a job at a management company, learn everything from the management standpoint, how to collect rents, financials, P&Ls,
how
leasing.
To evict people.
Yeah, you will work with some investors, you'll manage their real estate, and that's how you can get closer to them. And number four is construction, just like you.
Yeah.
You were a contractor, doing siding, windows, then you start building houses, now you're building commercial real estate, and it's all about your proximity to people who are doing that. Now, if you got involved with commercial real estate investors early in your career, you would have been further ahead, but you've been flipping houses and whatever. So that's fine. That's a living. If you know where you want to go, and if you want to if you don't have any money, then those four paths are really, really good ways. Now, if you have a lot of money and you want to get into it, it's easy, but don't do it yourself. You lose it all. Come to me, invest with Brait Capital. You'll learn everything for free as an investor. And
while making money.
And you'll make a lot of money too. So that's what... Shameless self-promotion.
How was that fishing trip with your son, Alan?
Oh yeah, so fishing. Did I invite you?
No, you guys went, but I saw the pictures. You sent me pictures, and I loved it. Yeah. You just tell us, you flew.
For multiple years, I've been invited to go fishing for paddlefish. I thought it was sturgeon, but it's paddlefish. It's huge fish like this. And every time he would tell me, I'm like, I'll go next year. I'm busy. I go next year. I got a trip. Next year I'll go for sure. I have a mastermind. And then my son Alan says, Dad, I want to go fishing.
How old is he now?
He's 15 now.
15.
And I was like, okay. This time around, I again got a call. It's like, hey, I'm going. Alex, my friend, said he's going, and then Ilya, my friend, with his 14-year-old son is going. I was like, dude, if you bring your son with you, they can hang out. And I had another conference to go to. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to no conference. I called my assistant. I said, look, cancel everything. For 2 days, I'm out. I'm going to go fishing. So these guys drive their cars down for 9 hours. 10 hours, and then they get the fish and drive back. It's in the suburbs, or it's close to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Beautiful lake. It's like a lake, but it's a river. It's a river that turns into a lake. We have an airplane. So I'm not gonna drive with you guys, but I'll fly down there. So like, oh, it's cool for you. We can. Well, we only have 5 seats in the plane, so no. And me, our pilot, and my son flew down there. It took us about 3 hours to get there. We stayed at a small hotel. In the morning, we went fishing. So get this, it's really unique type of fishing. The hook does not have any kind of a worm or anything, it's just a hook.
Just a hook?
And he goes in there and he looks at the bottom of the riverbed with his sonar, and when he sees the fish, he just hooks it. And it's really tough, but this guy was so good. We get in there at 7, 8 in the morning. By 11 o'clock,
you reach the limit.
We have the limit, yeah. And the limit is 1 per person per day. And you can only do 2 days per year. So because they want to preserve this fish is huge, and
Makes sense.
It's got caviar and everything. But it was a pretty awesome experience, and we played cards, we hung out, it was a lot of fun. We sat by the fire and talked, telling all kinds of stories. But it was a really good experience, and next year I'm definitely going again. You should come.
So, what is your daily routine? Like, you got a lot of going on. I mean, you're very successful, but what's behind it? Is there a lot of hard work? How does it happen? What's the magic?
So first and foremost, for anyone who wants to be grinding a lot, there's a grind and there's a grit. If you enjoy what you're doing, you never work a day in your life.
Okay.
I love what I do. For me, I always focus on winning my day. In order for me to win my day, I need to win at least one of the three. Like I have a list of things I gotta do, and one of the three things. Number one, I need to do a workout. I need to get in the gym, sweat a little, put in a workout. So for me, one of the wins in the day is workout. Number two, quality time. I'm really into relationships. I want to foster really good relationships with my family, with my children, with my wife, so that she doesn't drop me, and with my friends, right? So relationships color our lives. And I've seen a lot of people who are so dedicated to their work that they have ruined everything in their life on the relationship side, health-wise also. And so I don't want to be that rich, fat, sick guy with no relationships. I really want to balance between, relationships, health relationships and business. Another win is to add value to somebody. That's one of the things I really want to find a way to do. Another win is not to drink alcohol, which I've been doing really good. 14 days now or whatever.
Okay, 14 days. Well,
it's awesome. Eating healthy, or writing or reading for an hour. One of the things I really want to do is learn. Continuous improvement has been kind of a part of my evolution. I've probably read over 350 to 400 books now.
So a few more questions. It's going to be Blitz. I'm asking you, answering. What's the biggest amount of money you and your partners made on one deal?
We sold a building about a month ago, and we made $3 million on one transaction, which was
Love it.
Yeah, it was a great deal.
Rafik helped me to start reading books because hey, Rafik, you're so successful. How do you do that? And Rafik, okay, here's 5 books. Read them. We'll talk later. And
you've done great. I mean, it totally changed you.
It changed a lot. Every time you put a recommendation, I'm like, okay, I gotta read that. And you not always agree what you see in a book, what you listen in the book, but you make your own conclusion and you just grow.
So here's my little life hack for books. If you listen to it on Audible, you will retain some major concepts, 5%. If you listen actively and write down the ideas, right, and then I go to ChatGPT, get a summary. I always want to connect. Many books have these mental models. Many books have ideas and thoughts and how-tos, right? So second level of retention of the book data in the books or information in the books is by writing them down. If you write them down, it kind of goes deeper in your mind. Third level of evolution is to learn to teach. So every time I read the book, I want to learn it enough to be able to tell my team, my students, my family, my kids, what I've read in the book. And when you start teaching the book, you retain a lot more. So they say as much as 95% of the subject matter, but of course you can retain 95% of the book. But ultimately, now my new ethos for the next evolution of my life is to learn to teach, not to learn to do, but learn to teach. I'm definitely now I read books, and there's a whole different level of complexity. Sometimes I re-listen or reread chapters 5-6 times, take a lot of notes, and then I kind of get a deeper understanding of a specific situation or of what they're trying to tell in the book.
What's the most amount of money you lost on a deal?
I lost about $400,000 on one deal. It was a pretty painful experience, but I also remember my mentor's words. He says, Rafik, you can't win all the time. It's impossible to win all the time. But your job is to extract a lesson out of the loss and also preserve your humanity and preserve your peace of mind or preserve your integrity when you lose. So when I lost money on that deal, I made sure my investors are whole, and my investor was my mom on that deal. But overall, I don't lose a lot, but every time I lose, I always sit down, take a lot of notes, and try to understand what happened, what did I miss. The biggest losses are happening biggest problems we're dealing with the economy right now is the cost of rehab has gotten so out of control that we are perpetually under budget because prices are just going through the roof for materials, for labor, and for everything else. So otherwise, we always buy properties right, We always have a really good underwriting and projections and whatever. We always hit the mark.
Yeah, I listen to the book once. If I like it, I'll listen twice.
Yeah.
And if I like it after that, I will buy a hard copy.
Nice.
And then I'll read it and highlight what I like, and so I could retain more.
Very good. So you're on the right path.
I like it. I like the idea and how you build it. So you make money when you buy.
That's right.
So basically, you do gamble. You gamble commercial real estate, but you as a house.
I'm the house, yeah.
So you could lose money, but chances of that happening with all the research, with all the hard work, with all the hustle are very low. So you're basically doing gambling, but you as a house, you as a casino.
I would not say gambling because we buy properties. Our whole business is to find distressed properties at half the price. Now, you can still lose money if you don't know what you're doing. You can still lose money if you don't do proper risk assessment. There's risk associated with environmental, risk associated with interest rates, macroeconomic risks. Tariffs go up, your tenants in a property right next to Canada border lose their contracts, and you got a vacancy. You got tenant risk, people leaving. We bought a building, we had 20 grand coming in, and they didn't renew their lease. We have basically vacancy. And what are you going to do with a 15,000 square feet of office space on the second floor? It's all about risk management, but every day I learn something new every day, and I'm hoping I'm getting better. But the other thing I do is I try to teach people my subject matter. So I'm actually realizing something very unique. When I teach it to somebody, I got to learn it so good that I can answer. So I'm actually reading a lot of books on the subject matter,
getting better
to get better, so that I can teach my managing partners and my friends. And make sure that they don't make mistakes.
No, that's pretty cool. I love it.
The key for creative financing is disclosure and integrity. Making sure that everything you do is with the value add in mind, and the whole mentality of Mexican shootout negotiations. You shoot terms, I shoot whatever. No, forget that.
It's old school.
There's two conversations going on. One conversation with the seller when you beat them up on the price. Another conversation with the investor when you tell them, oh, this is amazing property. This is how we're going to make money. After you sign the contract with the seller, you say, oh, by the way, I'm talking to these investors. Would you like to see what I'm going to do with the building? If you get together with them, if you buy them lunch, if you really kind of show your true colors and share with them your energy, in my case, that's what I try to do. And if they feel me, the chance of them saying, you know what, this guy sounds reasonable. And of course, in my case, I have a lot of experience. I have a lot of happy sellers. I'm like, oh, by the way, I can give you some testimonials of 5 other sellers. It's very easy for me to get them to commit, especially if they want to redeploy that capital into some other deal. I'm like, why? You don't have to do 1031. You have to deal with it. You'll make a lot more money right here. And I'm expecting to make my investors 12 to 15% on their money.
Rafik, you've been absolute pleasure to have. Yeah. And I believe a lot of listeners could really enjoy and learn from your stories and how you lost money, how you made money, and how you continue to improving yourself and getting better. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It was great. This is a treat to be doing this with you, and hopefully we'll now do more business.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Stay tuned for our next episode, and thank you.